Plaintiff Bruce DeYoung says he used to be friends with the defendant until he discovered the defendant was abusing his girlfriend's kids. Bruce is suing because he claims once he and the defendant started working together for his Snowplow company, the defendant pocketed all the wages. Defendant Tim Garcia says Bruce is the violent one who carries a gun with him all the time and assaulted Tim's girlfriend. Tim claims Bruce also made false allegations against Tim and his girlfriend with Child Protective Services, and he's countersuing for unpaid labor and the cost of firewood.
Start with you.
I met Tim Garcia years ago fishing, met up again with him last year, and we started hanging out. Had I known the way he was, I would never even bother being around this guy ever in my life. Just one of those types. He lives with his girlfriend, with the kids. Basically, he's an abuser. He's a child abuser.
Where do you get that from?
Well, the one 8-year-old stayed the night with me and advised me because I'd rather live with you than there because Tim's mean and he beats us.
Okay. You want to say something?
Yes, sir. Bruce DeYoung here carries a gun everywhere he goes. Okay.
License.
Assaulted my girlfriend here, pulled her hair.
Assaulted her?
Yes. I have a police report right here, sir.
Okay. Let me
pulled
see.
her hair, punched her.
Okay.
And him and his neighbor got in. He invited us over one day to play some horseshoes by his house. And one day, the next thing you know, him and his neighbor got in a fight with the gun. Her 9-year-old boy seen that. He went down to the ground.
The neighbor, the dog ran up. He put the gun to my dog's head. I took a step towards it. He swung the gun, cocked and loaded, and put it 4 inches from my forehead. The 9-year-old was next to me. I grabbed him, pulled him behind me.
All right, basically, you're telling me this to rebut what he's saying about the type of guy you are.
Yes.
Right? All right.
Yes.
Let me get back to him so we can get started.
I'm a licensed carried handgun in Indiana.
All right.
I'm legally able to carry a gun anytime I wish to.
Okay.
And there's so much more that this is just unbelievable because there was an incident where I walked in, he's selling a bag of pot to a teenage kid, one of the 16-year-old son's friends.
Now he's suing you, countersuing for unpaid labor. Does that mean he worked for you?
No, he did not. He
worked
was
with you?
He was driving my truck.
So he did work
as a
for
plow
you.
driver.
He worked for you?
Yes, worked with me.
All right. Was this before or after all the violence?
It was 4 days of plowing. That was it. We plowed for 4 days.
Okay. That was the only work you all have done together?
Yes, sir.
All right. So tell me how he owes you for wages.
Basically, he was a plow driver. I own the truck and plow. Mm-hmm. Make $70 an hour for that truck. Our verbal agreement was $20 per hour for him to drive. We have 17 and a half hours on that as he gets his 20.
So why are you suing him for unpaid wages?
Because he had taken all the checks from the company and cashed them and took off with the money.
The checks that were given to him that were to be turned in?
Yeah, checks were written out in his name because he said, hey, I'm going to put them in my name. That way I can screw my ex-wife out of getting any tax return on me.
Okay. How much did he take?
A total
misappropriate or convert?
Total of $1,820.
Okay, you're going to have a little evidence there to back it up?
Yes, sir.
I'm sure he'll deny it. All right. Sir?
Yes. I told Bruce he can plow for me. Every time he wanted to plow for me, he was drunk. Every single time he come to my house, 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning, why don't you just drive my truck and plow for me? And I did that for him. So he was supposed to get $50 an hour, and that was it. And he's coming up with this high figure. I don't know where he came from.
Checks.
From checks.
Tell me about the checks. Did you convert them for your own?
I'm a subcontractor. It came to me for the work.
Subcontractor? You kidding me?
But he was supposed to pay me for the labor I done on his trucks, and he never paid me.
Separate from this issue of
no, if you look at it now, it's pretty much even.
Now, huh?
Hey, Your Honor, we're here.
Sir, are you talking about a separate set of work?
Yes.
That you provided to him?
Yes.
But with regard to his claim,
I took it off, sir.
You took what off?
Took all my money. That's what he did.
No, you
took the monies that were due you?
Yes.
What did you do with the balance of the monies?
There's no balance, sir.
So all the money was to go to you?
Yes, for the payment that he owed me for working on his vehicles.
That's his scam, too.
All right. So that's what you mean by you all broke even?
Yes.
But initially you owed him how much before breaking even?
On the police report was $1,200.
Okay, and that came from the checks.
Yes. If you look at the
All
police
right,
report.
from the share you failed to give to him.
Yes, because I waited for my money from him for the longest time.
You had already performed the work?
Money.
Yes, it was already done, sir, long time ago. Right before we start plowing, I put a plow on his vehicle.
Never done any work for
Do
me.
you have any evidence?
Yes,
that
I
you,
do, sir.
Performed
You
some
kidding me?
work.
This gentleman was a friend helping a friend, and all of a sudden, as soon as I catch him
And
scamming
you say
money,
there's something in the police report that makes reference to monies that you all owe each other.
Yes.
Because that's what I'm going to rely on, because you all have two different stories.
Your Honor,
Yes, sir.
Would I be
Come
able
on
to
up.
add to this?
Come on up. State your name.
my name's Tim Detmar. I'm with Rock Solid Paving and Excavating. Tim had called me asking if I could hook him up with a snowplow gig. And I told him at the time that I could. When I showed up at the job site, Tim was not in his own truck. He was supposed to be plowing with his own truck. He was with Bruce. And they were plowing with Bruce's truck.
half the time he was drinking.
Okay.
He was even
But,
beer in the
but we had already set it up that Tim had his own truck. That's why the checks were made in Tim's name.
All right, ma'am. What do you want to say?
Okay,
State your name.
Tammy Pichter. In reference to Bruce's character, he had called DCFS on me. He had,
Right, I did.
They
I feel-
showed up.
I feel sorry
I'm
for those
speaking,
children of
okay,
yours.
Bruce, I'm speaking.
Go ahead.
You've already done enough
Sir?
damage to
The
me.
children need to be
Sir,
spoke for.
let us speak. Go ahead.
Okay, he had came to our house, and when we were on vacation, he ransacked the house. He did numerous damages to our basements. And then when we went to go pick up the checks from the company, Bruce had his car hidden on the side of the building. He had followed us. And then I wanted to get away. He was tailgating us. So I pulled into a
Yeah, we
place
were
of
supposed to go to the
business.
bank and cash
I'm
the check.
speaking, Bruce. You've already done enough damage to me and my family, okay?
You've done it to yourself.
Sir.
And we pulled into a place of business. He had gotten out of his car. Tim asked him what his problem was. I was driving. Bruce came around to the driver's side. We have a police report against this. I was driving. He came up. He pulled my hair. He tried to turn my car off. He was leaning in front of me trying to turn my car off, and I wouldn't let him do it. He yanked the phone charger out of the adapter in the car. He was beating my car with it.
You're the one should be suing today. What happened? With all
Because I didn't want to do
it's a
any
lie.
of this.
All right.
She's afraid for her life.
All right, let's get
afraid
back
for
to the
her
case
life
at
because of
hand.
him.
Let's get back to the
She ain't
case at
afraid
hand.
of
I'm sorry
nothing.
that happened, and you
And-
should have pressed criminal
But
charges.
I wanted to let it go.
Good enough. All right, sir. You tell the police here that you do owe him $1,200.
I do owe him $1,200, but he owes me for working on
Yeah,
his
but you
vehicle.
didn't tell the police that.
No, I didn't tell the police that. I didn't.
So,
He made it up after he found
Right.
out that he
No, I didn't make
scammed
up
money.
nothing.
No.
sir, how do we go from $1,200 to the other amounts? Credit card and work tools.
Oh, yeah. He borrowed the truck, took off with the truck, left the tailgate open, all my tools, chainsaw, everything went out
No.
the back. It didn't happen?
Your Honor?
Okay, let me
No,
pull out.
ma'am.
Let me pull
No,
out
ma'am.
the statement
Let me
right
get-
here of the gentleman that we went over to the house, got my
Okay.
chainsaw
Okay.
because he said he found it in the middle of the road.
Okay.
What do you want to tell me, sir?
Sir, every time he come by my house, he left his tailgate open. He's a big drunk. He forgets his
Sir,
stuff.
did you drive his truck
drunk.
and
Plowing only.
tools fall out?
No,
No.
only plowing.
All right, let's see your statement.
Right here, Your Honor.
He says a person came to him with the saw saying that it dropped out of
He
the
was
truck
at my house
when you
cutting
were driving.
firewood,
He
sir,
was at our house on our property cutting firewood.
without permission.
They gave me permission to come and take whatever wood I wanted.
No,
Chainsaw was found in the middle of Lakeshore Drive in Cedar Lake by Aaron Robinson, October, and he returned it to the owner.
that's when he was on his way to his liquor store to get his alcohol.
This does not acknowledge that he had the truck at the time that the chainsaw was found.
Your
That's the
Honor?
only statement I have. The other people he went up to, there's other teenagers he went up there and accused them of taking the tools.
Do you have any evidence that he ever had the truck? He denies ever having the truck.
He's going to lie.
Your
There's
Honor?
no other evidence I can give you. That's the only thing I had.
Let's get to the credit card charges.
I put it on my card so he could have a bottle of vodka, a phone card, and gas for the house. He has no heat for the house.
Oh my God.
How much did it total?
Total was...
Sir, did you agree to repay him
70
for items he charged on his
batteries.
credit card for you?
Yes,
How much?
$22.
How much?
$22.
Phone cards 20, propane 22, bottle of vodka you wanted 14,
Honor.
a car battery
Your Honor.
$77.
The propane, he
Have a
wanted
seat, ma'am.
for his...
Have a seat, ma'am. He can speak
I've
for
got
himself.
a Discover card on
Let's
that and
see.
everything.
Sir, did you ever borrow for propane?
Yes, I did. I did pay that back to him. I gave him cash.
You didn't pay the $22 back, though.
That was the last one.
Your countersuit for firewood, how does he owe you for that?
He came on my property and cut 2 truckloads of firewood,
It's rental.
Against
It's
your-
rental property.
but I
It's
still
not
have
his
to pay
property.
the
Sir.
landlord.
He came on your property and
With-
cut your firewood, and he
Yes.
says the landlord's firewood.
No, it's not. It is the landlord. It is the landlord, but I have to reimburse the landlord
Okay.
for the wood.
And do you have any evidence of how much
Yeah,
that's
No,
gonna
I don't,
cost?
sir.
Good one.
I
Is
have
he,
all the.
Is he renting? Do you know?
Yeah.
All right. Well, then he would have to pay his landlord.
Yeah.
And how much are you asking for the firewood?
The firewood was total of $350.
All right. All right, sir. I'm going to grant him his $1,200 because you admit that you owed him that.
Okay.
You admitted to the police you owed him $1,200.
Okay.
Sir, you haven't proven anything regarding the work tools. It's your word against his. And he denies ever even using the truck. So you all are so far apart, I can't just take your word on that. With regard to the credit card charges, you say they amount to how much, sir?
Total of credit card charge $133.
Holiday liquor, Cedar Inn. You did get that liquor.
Yeah, he's always liquored up.
It looked like you might have had a nip or two before you came today.
No.
That's even why he only has supervised vision
I'm going to
right
grant
for
his
his son.
$133 too, because I believe you used the credit card. You admitted to using it.
Yeah, I
You
did.
say you gave him $22 back. So I'll grant you $1,333. With regard to the firewood, I do believe that you are going to owe the landlord, or that you currently owe the landlord. Therefore, I'll grant you your $350. Have a good day. That's my judgment.
Oh, man. Thank you, Your Honor.